Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with day 2 for my video a day in July, and this one again is using scraps. I was actually picking up everything on my desk and putting stuff away, and I was like, if I put this stuff away, it's just gonna stay there in the drawer. So let's try to put a page kit with all these leftover pattern papers from different layouts and try to see if we can put a layout together. So the first thing I did was a white sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media, and this time I decided to try and use some of my distress stains, and which is awesome. They're already wet, so you don't have to get them wet or anything. They're basically like liquid watercolor and it works really well. So I put a little bit of gesso. I still put clear gesso to the background, only because my white gesso I think is getting kind of oldish, so it's starting to get really thick, and I don't particularly like that. So I'm just going to take, this is spun sugar, and I'm just going to add some color to the background, and the colors that I'm going to go for is going to be a light pink, like a blue teal, which that is evergreen bow, and then the yellow. I can't remember what color the yellow is, but there's not that many yellows in the Tim Holtz color. So some of these are like brand new, and I tried that first one there, and I just by putting it down, you can tell the color is just not right. So I tried to put a little bit more teal in it. Don't like it. I tried to mix two colors together to make the teal that I wanted. Don't like it. So I'm going to take a baby white, and I'm going to start over. So now I'm just going to go with the teal. And what I did was, because those baby wipes, if it didn't matter where I set it down, it ended up ruining some papers or something else. So I got a little container, just a little square container, and I put it on my desk, and it's always empty. So when I use a baby wipe like that, anything wet, I can just put it directly in that little container, and I don't have to worry about it ruining my pattern paper or my cardstock or anything like that. So the first yellow I had used was sort of a really, really light yellow, and it just wasn't yellow enough. So I ended up choosing another different yellow. And now I'm going to use, like, I think this is a size 10 or 12 paintbrush, and I'm still putting some distress stain on the packaging, and then I'm going to make some splatters. So I'm just going to put the distress stain right on there, dab the paintbrush in it, and it makes pretty fine splatters, or you can make some bigger splatters if you get it nice and full of ink. Then it would make bigger splatters. So the more, if I add more water, I can make bigger splatters. But I just wanted something fine. I wanted to put some teal little dots where the teal was, and some pink one with the pink, and some yellow with the yellow. And the reason I'm kind of walking away is I actually have a sink in my craft room. So I'm going over and I'm actually cleaning the brush in between so that I don't have residue from the previous color. And I love these three colors together because it's such a happy combination with the blue and the teal and the yellow. I have to say, a lot of times I tried to pick one or two colors, and I kind of stay within that. A lot of times I'll scrapbook tone on tone, but this one I felt, because of all the different pattern papers that I had, that I wanted to add in three different colors. One of my favorite way to scrap is with scraps. I find I can put a page so much faster together if I have a bunch of scraps. When I start with a brand new collection, or if it's a kit, a brand new kit, I just find that it takes me like forever to get that first page done. And that's why when I start with a new kit or something like that, I'll break it down. I'll say, okay, let's make some page kits with this, and then from there make the pages, because at least it kind of breaks it down. It's not so overwhelming. And for this 31 days of videos, I'm going to make a kit with all new stuff, but a kit, and then with that kit I'm going to make page kits, and then we'll I think I made it so I'm going to do like 11 pages with those page kits. So that'll give us 11 videos basically with that page or that kit that I put together. So I grabbed a 6x6 from the Dear Lizzie 6x6 pattern paper, and then the other pattern paper that's in behind is actually a scrap. And I just like the way the photo fits right on there, right next to Hello Dream. And I'm just looking to see what I have on my desk that I could possibly use. Some of it is literally little pieces of scraps, and I'm going to end up using them. I'm going to use the evergreen bow again and ink the edges of the pattern papers. And then I'm gonna, I can't remember if I glued it down right away or not, because at one point I have to lift the whole thing, because even though it seems like I have quite a bit of mixed media to the background, once I add all the pattern papers, a lot of that gets covered up. And then when I start putting the embellishments, I start looking at it and going, I wish I had a little bit more of that color over here. So you'll see me pulling that up. I did pull from my stash a bunch of teal-ish washi tape, and at first I thought I was going to put it directly on the background, but then with all that mixed media, I decided to do mixed media instead of a background of washi, which I'll probably end up doing on another video, just because I had that want to do it. I like to do a page using only washi, and but what I decided to do was just put it on that pattern paper and kind of give the photo a mat on the right of it with all this different washi. Now I don't know the manufacturers of all these washi tapes. I just have once I get my washis, I just throw them. I have these containers that I keep all my washis in. So most of them, I don't know which company they're from. I'd say 99% of them, I don't know which company they're from, because I've taken, the wrapping off, and I just don't know who made it. But I think all of us have quite the collection of washi tape, so you can just go through your stash and just find a bunch of washi tape that kind of go well together. Now the first washi tape, I had kind of made it so that it went beyond, and then I decided that I liked that to the left of the photograph that there was no washi tape, that you could only see the washi tape to the right of it. So I just cut that off, and now I'm going to, I haven't glued anything down yet because I don't know if I want to mat the photo or just leave it like that. And this is a photo of my daughter and her boyfriend. We were on top of Mount Washington. We were actually starting to walk down the mountain again. And like I said in one of my last videos, we went up one side and then down the other side. And the way we went down was a little bit different, we will say, than the way we went up. But one thing that was really nice was that you could see way more mountains. There was way more mountains on that side of the mountain that you could see as you were climbing down the mountain. So we did stop a few times and take some pictures. Now, if you have any kind of teenager in your house or young adult, you'll know about the dab. And it's a dance move. And so here they were at the top of the mountain, and it was kind of a dab fail because they were but there was some of the photos that I took, it was a dab, and then they kind of went a little crazy after that. But so I took a picture of that, and I really like it because they're kind of, fooling around, and still being the mom, I was just like, be careful, you're too close to the edge. And they were at least like 10 feet away, but as a mom, you're still kind of afraid that they might, tumble down the mountain. But as I'm going to be putting some of this stuff down, I just want to remind you, if you're new to my channel, this month, the month of July 2017, today is July 2nd, and when this will go up. And for the month of July on my channel, I'm going to be uploading a video a day for the entire month of July. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you're notified when I upload the videos every day. And normally, on a regular month, I'm going to be uploading every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and then sometimes on Saturdays. And this month, the videos will be scrapbook process videos that are sped up and with voiceovers, or the scrap and chats where it'll be in real time. There's also going to be product reviews. I'm going to have a giveaway and a scrapbook room tour. So there's going to be all kinds of videos, different videos, all in the month of July. Every day there's going to be a new video that goes up. So stay tuned for that. And I'm so excited to get a whole bunch of scrapping done this month. But back to the layout. What I did was I mounted the photo on that 6x6 pattern paper and then added it to that scrap. And then there was another scrap that had the flowers. It was no more than 2.5 inches wide by about 6 inches long, and I cut it right down the middle and added it to either side of that cluster, and it just added a little bit of something else. Then there was another piece of pattern paper that was an aqua, and I put it underneath that camera on that side because I found, even though I had that label, the camera was sort of like floating there, and I didn't want that. Now, this is a blast from the past. These Prima flowers, I must have those for the last 15, 16 years. Like, I've had them forever. And because I'm putting all my stuff away, I have to go through the boxes item by item. So when I saw these flowers, now I have them somewhere where, I can see them. So when I was doing this layout, I thought it'd be nice to use some of those little flowers that were in the aqua and teal colors. And then I went, and so I took them out and I grabbed a whole bunch there, as you can see. And then I went to get these alphas that are like an enamel shape, and I think they're called Lovely. I've had them for quite a bit of time. They're from Amy Tangerine, and I just wrote out beautiful, and I think I'm going to go underneath and use little white alphas and just put dab on it, because really I didn't know what title to put on, but then afterward I thought, well, that'd be cool. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then this was in 2016, so I'm just taking the number 6, and I took a T and cut it down to make a 1, and I'm just going to put 16 as, I didn't have a 0 or a 2, but I'm just going to use the numbers 1 and 6 for 16. Because one thing that I did notice is, if you're on my Instagram or my Facebook group, last week I posted a picture of about 50 layouts that are not put in an album. Now, some of them are journaled on, but a lot of them are not journaled on. So one thing I want to make sure that I'm going to do is journal and put the dates on these layouts, because yes, when I'm doing the layout, I remember what date, we went up that mountain or whatever. But even 6 months after it's done, I find that I'm having a hard time remembering. So I got to do it as I'm doing the layout. And I showed you here, I had the cluster of photo down, and I couldn't see the pink at the top because the pink was more towards the middle, so you couldn't see the pink, and I couldn't see the blue. So I added more of that, and then I decided to use a stamp set, and it's just all arrows, and I want to make it so that it's pointed towards like up, so like climbing a mountain. And then I'm just going to use my Distress ink in the evergreen bow, and it's very light. I didn't want anything too prominent or too, I didn't want to use black. I just wanted tone on tone so that you could see it if you're looking at it, but it's not in your face. And also I showed you that little container that I put my baby wipe in, and so it keeps, so that I don't put my baby wipe on something that I've ruined a few pattern papers that way, or some cardstock, because I'm not paying attention to where I'm putting my baby wipe as I'm putting it away. And so this way I know it's in a container and it's not gonna be wrecked. Now I'm adding some glue to those thickers because they were moving all over the place. All I had to do was pick it up a little bit and it was moving. And then this is some 3M tape, and I'm going to add it in behind the camera, and just to give it a little bit of lift. And at this point, I really haven't worked on any embellishment clusters, and except for that camera and that label and the date. So what I'm going to do is, really the only embellishments on this on this page is going to be those little flowers from Prima. So I'm going to find two, one dark teal and one aqua, and I'm going to put one on top of the other. And then I took some brads from Close to My Heart, little white brads, and I'm going to put them in the center. Now at first I'm going to start with just the blue, and then I'm like, hey, in that package it has the yellow and it has the pink. So I'm going to end up putting some yellow flowers and some pink flowers, and those I'm just going to put one layer and just a brad in the middle. And I'm going to put 3 in every little cluster, and at first I only am working on 2 clusters right now. And then once I get those down, I'm like, okay, I need a 3rd cluster. Where am I going to put it? And then I decide on putting it sort of at the top of the layout. I'm just going to make this little banner, and I'm going to put 3 flowers on it. Okay, so for the flag or the tag at the top, I just use a piece of scrap that coordinated with another piece of pattern paper that I had put on the layout. And actually I was testing out my new Stitch Happy machine, and you can see there's a little bit of stitches on there, but it's not going to show. I'm going to cover those up with the flowers, so I'm not too worried about it that I don't have any stitching anywhere else on the layout. I could have added some stitching, I just didn't at this point. So I have 3 flowers in each cluster, and I'm going to glue those down just using my quick dry adhesive. And then I was like, I need a little bit more embellishments. So once I have those glued down, at the start of the layout I had brought some thread and had just left it to the side of my mat. So I'm going to take that out, and it's just some teal thread, and I'm just going to add it to each embellishment cluster because I didn't add too many embellishments with this layout except for the flowers. So I just wanted to add a little something else. I found with the mixed media and all the inks, and just with the little bit of flowers and the title, I was happy with that. And instead of adding enamel dots, I just added brads in the center of the flowers, and I'm going to call that good. I'm going to add some more glue there just to make sure that the flowers and the thread don't move. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to cut down that whole layout by about 1/4 of an inch, actually just on 2 sides, because I didn't want to cut down that flag at the top. So I'm just going to cut it down on 2 sides, and I'm going to mount the whole thing on some teal cardstock. And that's going to complete my layout. So if you're enjoying these videos, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, and I hope you'll be joining me for the entire month of July. And here are some close-ups, and I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.